Hello world, welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur Show where we discuss LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ approach and an LGBTQ perspective in an LGBTQ plus planet, where each and every one of us belongs to one or two letters in the LGBTQ spectrum. And today we are going to discuss about the tremendous workload for the LGBT community, especially in Africa. And I've been seeing a lot of needs that the LGBT community has in Africa, and I've been measuring and seeing that there is a lot of work to be done, especially when we are pursuing, decriminalization of homosexuality, and also pursuing, fair, equal, treatment at offices, no discrimination when you're going to get a job or when you're doing to do a job. So there's a lot. So this is just a simple video to discuss that workload and how to respond to it. Of course, sadly, but realistically, money is the issue. If you don't have money, you cannot do a lot, and that's a fact. Even if you have magic, even if you have powers, if you don't have money, you can't do anything. In this earth, because the world system is a natural system. It's a natural system. What I mean by natural, it's a physical system. It's not a spiritual. It's not just a spiritual system. It's also spiritual, but there is a system that is physical, and that's why money is tangible. The reason why when Bitcoin came, people got confused because you don't touch Bitcoin. You never touch a Bitcoin. It's data, but it's tangible, or it exists because you can see it on the computer screen, but you can't touch it. You can't go to a bank and physically deposit a Bitcoin. Now that's what the world is. The world is headed that way. We are going to. We're headed that way. Of course, Bitcoin. The good thing about Bitcoin, it is still. What do you call it? Is still going to be. Bitcoin is still connected to the hard currency. But as time goes on, as 100 years from now, they will leave alone these currencies. Currencies are going to die, because right now what we have is a war between globalization and nationalism. And what's going to happen? Globalization will win, because the whole internet is global. Every country is part of the internet system. So all of these systems they'll be global. Nationalism is going to collapse with the years to come. Reason: I can know America without going there. I can know Denmark without going there. I can know Saudi Arabia without going there. The streets by name, I can know them. It's because of, and that's globalization. That's what has already happened. So some governments are trying to fight that, but they are losing. They will lose. It's a lost battle, because Google already knows the whole of every country. Every country is mapped. And very soon, we are going to have an audio Google. Audio Google means they can even pick sounds from every country, everywhere. Because you can feed a mic in every section of the world and you collect sounds. So we'll have an audio Google rather than a geographical Google, so that you can, not only will you see the place, but you can also hear the sounds from that place. So there's a lot happening. So in the end, globalism is the one which is going to win. And all of these nationalist organizations, or these national institutions, national corporations will disappear as time goes on. Like CIA will go, NASA, all of these. What I mean by going, they will not become, they will not be national. There will be no national interest. People will be working for the world. Yes, there will be no national interest. These things, they have divided us, because you are in a nation, but you cannot befriend another national because they are in another country, and therefore they have different national interests, so you fight each other. Have you noticed, why do we have things like EU and UN and East African Community? It is to have common interests. But you see what has happened? The problem of these outfits, it's very hard to have only common interests. You will still have your interests. And that's what happened. Now look at Rwanda and Uganda. They have been fighting each other because, much as they have a common interest, Rwanda is becoming developed, and Uganda is also competing with Rwanda, so it's very worried about how they are going to progress. So what happens is they forget the common interests, and then they focus on their personal interests. Tanzania had a problem being in East African Community because of their interests. They felt one country is going to be benefiting. Britain has left EU because of its interests. It has interests, and they have their union, the Commonwealth. So, well, they have decided not to be polygamous. Yes, you can be polygamous. You can be in so many unions. You're in Commonwealth, you're in EU, you are in here, you are in here, you are in all of those unions. But sometimes there are some unions that do not benefit you. And that's what happened in EU. It did not benefit Britain to their expectation. Britain wanted something else other than what EU was giving them. EU wants to create a common Europe. And very soon, if EU remains, it will become America. You see, America, there is only one president over one state, over 50 states. So even Europe is going to have one president over the entire of Europe. And even Africa, if AU continues, it will have one president over the whole of Africa. That is the whole plan of these unions. Because when you have unions, there is no need of having 50 presidents over 50 continents, and then you call yourself a union. There will be confusion. Too many cooks spoil the broth. There is one kitchen. Give it to one cook. Let them go on. So that's what's going to happen to Africa. It's going to happen to Europe. And when that happens, that's when there will be a lot of competition in the world, because America is already ahead. They have 50 countries with one president. But Africa has over 50 countries with 50 presidents. Europe has roughly 30 countries with 30 presidents. So compare 30, 50, and 1. Who is the powerful one? It's America. Because all those countries in America are just being led by one person. That guy decides everything. You see, like what has happened to just this week of the trade war between China and America. You see, it's very important, because that guy is standing in for 50 countries. against China. You see? So when he makes a decision, he's made it for the 50 countries in America. And it's a better system. So now there's no state in America. You know, a state in America can say, no, we don't agree with you, Trump. We want to trade with China at the price they've been giving us. But no, there is no state that does that because of the Constitution of America. So I become, I think, political. So I may stay there. Let's roll with what is in our mind. So that's what you need to understand about America and vis-a-vis unions. So this is the problem unions are having. The unions are, you can be polygamous, you can be in an open relationship whereby you're in many unions, or you can stay in few unions, basically one union. Yes, that's what you need to understand. So that's the political setup of what's happening. Even in the LGBT community, I am part of the global LGBT community, and there are some people who have the LGBTQ community in Africa, the African LGBT community, the European LGBT community, the American LGBT community, the South American LGBT community, the Asian LGBT community, the Middle Eastern LGBT community. Then you have national LGBT communities, the Kenyan LGBT community, then you have the Zimbabwean LGBT community, South African LGBT community, Malawian LGBT community, Botswana, Estonia's LGBT community, Denmark's LGBT community, Brazil's LGBT community. So you see, all of those, they are national communities. Then there are continental or regional communities. Then there's a global community whereby you have everybody, you connect with everybody from every continent. So that makes you a global LGBTQ person. I prefer globalism because that's where the world is going. Yes, the borders are dead. You know, you are a globalist. We are all globalists. Anyone who has a smartphone that connects to the internet, he's a globalist. Yes, it's as simple as that. Because the internet is the globe, it's the world. That's why it's called WWW, World Wide Web, not national wide web. It is World Wide Web. So which means all of you who are on the internet, you are globalists. Even Trump, he said he's a nationalist. He's a globalist because he's on the internet. Because if he is a nationalist, nobody outside America should read his tweets. It is only Americans who should read his tweets. And for information, zeitgeists are multiple or double-edged swords. What I mean by zeitgeist is the spirit of the time. You know, spirit is wind. So you can go in any direction, especially when there are so many roads to go. And the internet can be nationalized or globalized. So that's why the current war between globalists and nationalists is very tough. But as I've told you, I have predicted the globalists are winning. But in the case whereby globalists don't do well and don't even put their plan out there, nationalists will win. Now, what happens to a global world or a system that has been taken over by nationalists? This is what happens. The internet becomes nationalized. People can be blocked. You cannot visit Chinese websites. You cannot visit Syrian websites. You cannot visit anything to do with another country. You will not visit because nationalists are very security minded, and they'll say if you visit the site of Iraq, you could be a security threat to Iraq. So no access to Iraq, don't know about Iraq. And it's happening. There's that move. There are people who are retrogressive. They are going back to the past. They're going back to the past. And they don't know, when they go back to the past, they will repeat the mistakes of the past, which were ignorance. Do you know, if Hitler cannot do what he did 50 years ago, today, he can't. He can't. Because everybody knows everybody now. Yes. If you start building concentration camps, it will be reported in the media immediately that somebody is building some very many buildings. We're going to find out what is he building. Then you meet him, then he lies. He says, no, I want to build a school. Okay, you want to build a school, fine. Then after building the school, he starts saying that if you have committed this crime, or if you are this identity, we are taking you to those schools. Then the media will still follow you and see who are these people who will go there. Then they've gone to the school. Then he says, no, actually, I'm going to put gas cylinders so that you make the place warm. The media will do inspection of the place, and then they say, oh my God, this guy is building a gas chamber to kill people. And then it's reported that this is not a school, it's actually gas chambers to kill the people who have either done something or are from this identity. And it's done. You arrest the person. That's what would have happened to Hitler. But because the world was ignorant of every country, they never knew. Nations were so secretive. So nobody knew the secrets of that country. And so Hitler managed to build, go and look at the concentration camps. Built very well. Very well. You know, stone. They used stone and brick to build them. The chimneys. I always used to ask myself, nobody knew what was going to happen. It's unbelievable blinding and covering up of the things that happened. So that's what happened. So ignorance is very bad, and that's why I do not support nationalization of the internet. We'll die. Governments will do whatever they want, and nobody will know what's happening to that person. So that's I'm giving you a picture of a nationalized internet, which can happen. Yes, it can happen. And because people, you see, when there's no harmony, that's why the UN is so important, because it stops that, it encourages integration, people to be together. Yes, people to meet together, even if you're different, even you have different views, you can meet together. So that's what you need to understand is happening. Now, a globalized internet is what we have today. You are allowed to, you can surf on any country, and people know about every country. And of course it has its pitfalls. One of them is security, which, you know, nationalists, they love that topic. But its pitfalls are not, you see, like security, this is how I would do it. If you globalize the internet, what do you call it? When you globalize the internet, and you have the security challenge, how you deal with the security challenge, globalize the security. Yes, Interpol is the international police system. They should have jurisdictions everywhere, offices in every country. Yes, that's what's going to happen. You see, jobs are coming, they are there. It's just that because the world is always fighting itself, so things take very long, slow. They are very slow to be implemented, but jobs are there. So only that, of course, the population is increasing. So when the population increases, even if the jobs come, they're coming for those ones who are jobless now, and the ones who are now come will remain jobless. So have you noticed an unemployment rate in most of the world? It never goes down. to zero. In fact, it's only America that tries very well. Because when Obama came, it was 11%. Now, it's less than 4%. So you see, that's a country that's doing something well. They are solving their employment issues. The others, especially in third world countries, their unemployment rate remains the same or increases because the population increases faster than the rate of job creation. So what happens? People will do what? If you add 10 million people in the system every 5 years, then the unemployment rate will increase. And when it increases, what happens? You have riots, you have upheavals, because you're not able to take care of those people. You have a lot of debt. So I'm telling you, if you want to govern a country, just use mathematics properly and planning, demographics. You see, that's why you see America, they are very clever. Because I used to ask myself, why are they not 1 billion? They should be many. And then I realized that can stretch their system. You'd rather have a system whereby everybody is working. Everybody is working and everybody is living their life, than to have what you have in India and China. You have very many people, and because when you have very many people, you don't need a lot to be working. But the problem of that, you'll have very many poor people. That's why India still has poor people, very badly poor, and despite having rich people. And China is still not there, not because of their economic development, but because of the poor people. There are many, and they have to focus on bringing up the poor out of poverty so that they can have 1 billion potential thousandaires or millionaires. Can you imagine if China had 1 billion? Everybody in China was a millionaire. Everything would be bought in this world. And by the way, even the world is so big, you can't buy everything. I was even thinking to myself, Bill Gates with his money, he can't buy the whole world. There's this verse, Jesus says that what profit is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? And I was thinking about it today. Actually, nobody can gain the whole world naturally. How much is this land where I am? Just this less than almost an acre. It's a lot of money. It's in millions of dollars. Just this one. And so you can imagine if Bill Gates was to say, I want to buy everything in the world, he won't finish it. Now, if that is Bill Gates, what about when you have 1 million Chinese? All the Chinese in the world are millionaires. You see? Anyway, I'll talk about that. I like talking about economics because there's a game. If everyone was a millionaire, the economy of the world would collapse, because economics is about scarcity, supply and demand. That's all. Once you understand that, you will understand economics. So the reason why we should not have very many rich people is because there are some products that if everybody was rich, they will go. They'll even be chaos. Have you noticed something about water? Why is it available for everybody, or should be available for everybody? It's because it's not scarce. Look at the planets of the world, of the system, the universe. Some of them have no water. Like I was watching a video of how NASA is they are building a 3D house. And they are going to put it in Mars. Very nice. But I hope they know how to get water running. They have to have a system whereby you recycle water, you recycle urine, every liquid you have, you recycle it so that you can drink water and you can flush toilets while you're in Mars, and you can it's going to be nice, but I hope they're factored in water. So you see, some things we take for granted, water, and especially water is very important. So imagine if water was scarce in this world, there would be war. There would be war. Imagine food. Food is there. People eat. And imagine if it was not there. I mean, even food is so much, just to be humorous. Muslims are fasting. Yes, Muslims are fasting. There's food. Because if there's no food, where will you fast? Yes, where will you fast? There is no food. So anyway, that's the understanding I have about life, is that economics is very important. It's very mathematical, and it's very good to have economists around you as a government. You should be stocked with everybody, especially economists. Okay, so let's finish this video now. Of course, I've discussed a lot about politics now, but my game was I wanted the LGBT community to understand, especially the ones which are pursuing LGBTQ rights in the countries like Kenya and Botswana, and I think there's another country in Africa that's also going to court, that I may have my discussions with grassroots members, and I like discussing with them because they are the most important people. Of course, the leaders of the community are also important, but they are not omnipresent. So you have to spend time with the grassroots people, talk to them. Those ones who you don't know their name, they don't even live in Facebook, but they are there. And so, but I'm happy, and I talk to them, and the reason why I talk to them is to educate them about the importance of the decriminalization case, especially to them. And most of them don't understand it. They are more fearful than understanding about why we have to decriminalize homosexuality, because they are of the view that I'm living my life, I am still having sex, and and the law is there against it, but it's going on. You see, the problem of that is you are engaging in criminality. You are being called a criminal. Of course, it is madness. Homosexuality is not a crime, but the law says that. And if you are a country that is living in rule of law, you will do away with those laws. Actually, countries that don't live under the rule of law, it means nothing, because the system is not democratic. It's dictatorial, But if you're living in a country that values rule of law, then you don't need such laws, because those are incriminating laws. Then secondly, when you have a certain behavior criminalized that is natural and it's very nice, then what happens is when you go to employers, they won't hire you. The price I've paid is, whenever I go somewhere, I even feel like they won't accept me because they know I'm gay. There's a persecutory complex that affects LGBTQ persons. Because there is homophobia in the area, they begin to have they have defense mechanisms. And others, they also have paranoia, anxiety, very many mental health issues. LGBT persons are very affected by many things, and therefore have a lot of mental health problems. So you go to an office and you apply for a job and go for an interview, then they make you feel like, but are you gay? Are you married? We want to know. And then if you say no, why are you not married? You see, so such questions. You see, that's why is a heteronormative, the heteronormative system and homophobia that now makes you not get a job, and when you don't get a job, you suffer economically, and you are in the poor. You can't get health services. You are just there, and you do everything like most grassroots people. You look at them and it's sad the life many of them live, and they manage, of course, but why be in that? It's because the system has criminalized homosexuals, lesbians, and bisexuals, anybody who is in the X spectrum. So that's the importance of decriminalization. Because when you decriminalize, it's not the last step. It's the first step to being accepted in the society. Yes, that's what you need to understand. Whether it happens this year or 20 years to come, it is the first step of acceptance. It's the first. Now, once that has happened, then the LGBT community comes out. People now work together. People start realizing, these guys are couples. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that there is also same-sex love. Many people don't know that. That's why I thank the media for highlighting about LGBTQ issues, because people don't know. LGBTQ persons are 10% of our population. So what does that mean? 50% may never meet a gay person in their life. Never meet a gay person physically, because they're 10%. So what does that mean? It is good. The media is an educator. It's teaching people about the gay community, about intersex. Look at Semenya. Semenya is a brilliant, the best symbol of LGBTQ persons in the entire planet. It's unbelievable. I don't know. I love Semenya for that. It's just, look at how it was timed, And if you're a spiritual person, you will know the meaning. It is to teach the world. It's to teach the world that there are people like these. You see? And because I was listening to something and I was very happy when I listened to it, and I wanted to confirm when Semenya started running. This man was saying, he's a very good philosopher. I love him. Manly P. Hall. And he was saying that the science of hormones, the first time they discovered hormones was 1910. 1910. Before 1910, nobody knew there was something called a hormone. Nobody. And nobody could even write what it was. You see, in the past, they could guess. Like when they castrate men, or men who are born castrated, they could feel, this man is very feminine. He's a very feminine man. Then they studied, okay, there are some people born like this. And then they looked at their gonads and they saw a very different gonads compared to the normal gonads of a man. So they said, okay, now we know what to do. When we want to create eunuchs or castrated men or feminine men, we'll do an operation, because we know where the problem is, or how to make a man a woman. They go to the gonads. So what did they do? They would crush the stones, the balls. They would crush them. Sometimes they would even get a stone and crush the balls. Then after doing that, the person becomes castrated. In China, it was even worse. They would chop the whole male gonad and give them a pipe to go to the loo. And they used to do that surgery. Go and read it. It's there. And so they did that. And you know, the moment you do that, the gonads, the male gonads package, it carries the hormone, the main hormone, testosterone. Testosterone is so hard to pronounce. So testosterone is in the male gonad. Now the reason why Semenya has that testosterone, she has balls inside her body, but she has a vagina. But internally, she has balls. So those balls are the ones that produce those hormones, and they release them. Every time she's working, those hormones are released. Every time she's working, those hormones are released. Every time you work, your hormones are being released. Because your body is busy, is always... No, the body is beautiful. Very beautiful. You know, it's going on, breathing. At the same time, it's a funny factory. It's a funny country. Many things are happening. So, when Semenya runs, that hormone gets busy. It's like sex. You know, when a man... Have you seen a masculine man fucking, whether it is straight sex or gay sex, but preferably gay sex, because in gay sex, a man is fucking a man, so they are both strong. They are testosteronated, meaning the man can be very rough. So when he's rough, you see, that's the hormone doing the work. Is aggression. Now, a feminine top does not do it like a masculine top. A feminine man who fucks another man doesn't do it like the masculine one, because the testosterone is low. So he will not have aggressive sex. He will have very non-aggressive sex. And when you talk to gays, you know, in the community, they'll tell you, no, I like the macho one. I want a guy who is, you know, I don't know. I've been thinking to myself, people are so attracted to men, you know, from all sides. There's something about masculinity. But I think the reason why people are attracted to masculinity, it's that it's the highest human being. Yes, I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. Is the highest human being. What do I mean by highest? Especially physically, a man is the highest human being. Male. Reason, physically, the woman, the clitoris is a penis in a man, and it is an undeveloped penis. Men have a developed penis, which is also a clitoris. That's why when you play with the penis, you suck it, or you play with the head and all of that, it has nerve endings, just like the clitoris. Because the same material that built the clitoris is the same one that builds the penis. And when it elongates, the clitoris elongates, the more masculine you are as a woman. So you find some women have long clitorises. Those are women who are more, they were on the spectrum of sexuality, of sexual identity, they were almost becoming boys. So you have to, it's beautiful science, because externally there's an external sexual infrastructure and internal sexual infrastructure. So you find this girl, there's some ladies, their clitoris elongates, but they don't have balls. Then some ladies, the clitoris doesn't elongate, but they have balls, like Semenya. Though I haven't seen a clitoris. I'm just joking. By the way, please understand me. I'm very open about these days. I talk about the body very freely, And my basis is, I mean, if you believe in God, that's why I tell people God can't fear pornography. I mean, he knows that person's body. So there's nothing to fear about nakedness. Yeah, it's normal. We are all naked. Even now I'm naked. I'm just covered. But if you remove this, I'm naked. Putting on clothes doesn't hide my stuff. I mean, it doesn't erase it. It's still there. So anyway, back to the systems of the body. So men are the highest human being because of the spectrum of sexual or gonadal development. Because the balls are two labia. Now what makes the lips in the woman, the labia, are the two balls. And then the clitoris is the penis. So you see, we are the same. Men and women are the same. We're just on a spectrum. And it's because of hormones. So back to what my friend was saying. He was saying 1910, hormones were discovered. And then I say to myself, but when did Semenya start running? I have a feeling it's around 2010. I'm going to confirm. But if it is 2010, oh my goodness, how beautiful that is. Let me see if I have internet. I can try and confirm right now. I think I have some net. And we can see when Semenya started running. Okay, my internet has been having problems today. I can't get it as I used to, so let's just forget about it. But I'll confirm. But I think she started around 2010. So what am I trying to say? 100 years after the discovery of hormones comes an athlete, a female athlete, who has she's intersex, you know, she's a man and she's a woman at the same time. So you see, the IAAF is in trouble to understand what to do with such a person. But we've been discussing with my friends and we've been saying no, Semenya is just lucky. Yes, lucky that she has a testis and she has a vagina. Believe you me, if she had a vagina and a dick, she would not run. Yes, they would, because the dick is the full expression of testosterone. So another thing that is happening that science has to unravel is the creation, how to explain the systems. How did things come about? How did this come about? How did this do this? Of course, we know it's genetic. And when you have, when you're a boy or a man, you carry the Y chromosome, and the Y chromosome builds that system. Its job is to create that system. And most of the times, boys will have the same dick. Yes, the same dick as the father, especially if the father doesn't intermarry. Because the moment he intermarries, in my view, there will be genetic genetic integration that can even change the person's dick, you know. Now it looks different and all of this, but generally the Y chromosome is you see why we know how old the world humans are? It's because there are some people, the Y chromosome has remained the same ever since the world began. Like the tribes in South America, they have never slept with any other tribe other than those ones. So when you read those their genetic data, all of them are from one person. All. 100%. They have one strain. And it didn't go through mutation. And that's why even in my studies, I want to study mutation. I think mutation happens when you meet another genetic being that is totally different from you. And this person's genetic data affects your genetic data and creates mutation of the Y chromosome. Because if we came from one Y chromosome, if men are from one Y chromosome, why do we have groups? Yes. Why do we have group A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R? Why are whites R's? Why are blacks E? It is because that man, when he met another lady, this lady had different genetic data, and it was so powerful. And this is my supposition, I'm going to read it. But her genetic data was so powerful, she caused mutation of that Y chromosome. And then that's when group E was made. Then it went on. Then the guy, one of the guys under that group, meets another woman. And she has genetic data so different and so powerful that affects that chromosome and changes it. So now when you study the Y chromosomes of men, there are so many groups, over 200, I think roughly 100 haplogroups of men, the Y. And look at this. How many? 100. What does that mean? It means we have now found the 100 men who gave men their Y chromosomes. And what I'm going to study is the female genetic data, does it have the ability to cause mutation? And I want to read what causes mutation. Anyway, that is my own discussion for next time. So now back to Semenya. So Semenya is like that. And she's a teacher. Her life is so beautiful because it's making people understand that there are homosexuals in society. Yes, because now people also wonder, why? What does that mean? You mean, look at Semenya. She likes women. Her partner is a woman, and she has a vagina. So she's a lesbian, even though she's intersex. You see, intersex is not whom you have sex with. It is who you are. Sexuality is whom you have sex with. So, if you have sex with a man and you're an intersex person, you are a homosexual. If you have sex with a woman and you're an intersex man, by intersex man I mean internally you have an ovary, but externally you may have a dick, then you are a straight intersex. You've engaged in heterosexuality, so you are heterosexual. And if you have sex with both men and women, and you are an intersex man, meaning you have an external man but internal woman, then you are a bisexual. So all of that, now just think of that alone, that person's psychology. It's nowhere near yours. You see how unique we are? Everybody is unique. Everybody is unique, because there's what you call psychosexuality. This is a combination of psychology and your sex. You see? So Semenya's psychosexuality is very unique. And that's why we are discussing this. People ask me, but then why do you do videos? No, it's good to enlighten people, and I also enlighten myself as I talk. You see, I love talking. I was even thinking when I was coming to do the video, I was like, wow, I have really stayed in the talking business. I've been talking for over 10 years now. Yes, because I started speaking properly in public. Actually, it's almost all my life, but properly 2008 in campus when I used to preach. And I would do it every day. So, and I was a reader, I would read and then come and talk, read, come and talk. So I realized my life hasn't changed. And even when I was in school, before I went to campus, I said I want to do law, but if I don't do law, I'll go and do communication. Yes, that was what I wanted to do, because I always loved talking, and I loved radio. I liked mimicking presenters and all of those. Well, thank the internet, now we are back to that, what we wanted to do. So anyway, now let's conclude. So I was talking about the LGBT community and how Semenya has helped people understand us. So decriminalization is to help us live lives, and mostly it is to help the straight people understand that we exist. That's what you need to understand. And of course, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful for Africa. Africa is going to go there. You see, already Semenya is in South Africa. They are okay. They have made it. They have LGBT inclusion. They have no problem. And other African countries now need to get to that level. Even South Africa, it's not yet done. These legal steps are the first steps. Then secondly, the next step is the cultural recognition. Now we are fighting for legal recognition. Then secondly will be the cultural recognition. I was watching TV and I saw a lady talking about women's mental health, and I knew she was queer. Her hair was so pink, and I was like, wow, that is making people understand, accept someone for who they are, their expression. If she keeps on coming to TV for 5 years non-stop, people will be used to it. That's how it is. So now, what is she going through, or what is that stage? That is cultural recognition. So once they have legalized, decriminalized homosexuality, and it's just sex, not marriage. Marriage, everything is going through. There's a process, there's a stage. Then you will have now cultural recognition. Gays will come out. You will see them on TV. You'll see them singing. You'll see them being celebrities. You'll see them working. You now know CEOs who are like that, and nobody will attack them. You see, that's what we are trying to train people to know, that these guys are very useful. LGBTQ persons, we are very useful. We are educated. We are talented, and we are useful to the society. And nobody should attack us because of our sexual identity. Rather, they should work with us for the talents we have that are unique to us. Yes, they're unique to us. And that's what we need to understand. And so when the cultural recognition happens, that will be 10 years. People now will know, oh, my child is gay. I didn't know. Yes, it can happen. Children are very, very clever. They can hide who they are. And now, when decriminalization has happened, the whole country now knows this is natural. And you see, the problem that we are having is religion. Because religion is not loyal to science. It's supposed to be loyal to science, but it's not. And I always tell religious people, I'm also religious, but I tell religious people, science is your God. Yes, when they attack gay people, they're attacking their God. When you attack lesbians, you're attacking your God, because he's telling you something. He created that person. He wants you to understand. You see, Semenya has Semenya been struck by lightning that she's a lesbian, intersex, she's a demon. Where have you seen lightning striking her? She's even winning gold. They're even tired. They're even tired of her winning the gold. They just say because she's too good. And so now what has happened? Semenya is winning, and she's not been struck by lightning. So I tell religious people, when you see a gay person, that's God. That's God. God is telling you, yes, I made that man. He's like that. So you're not supposed to attack them. Because when you attack them, you are attacking your God. And imagine you go to heaven, then you say, oh my God. And God tells you, yes, that was me. I was there. I was in that gay man. And you say, I didn't know. Yes, now you know. So that's, I thought you should know. You know, that's is a slang I'm enjoying these days. I thought you should know. So that's what you need to know. That's why I always treat everybody equally. Be kind to everyone, because everyone is unique. And God is in everybody. So that's the life. Anyway, so that is going to happen after the legal recognition. There's cultural recognition. People now will be seeing LGBTQ people in the open. They will now, straight people will be talking to gays, trying to understand, hey, but how does this thing happen? Now people will be talking everywhere, in the bars, in the churches. Wait, the sermons will change. Yes, the sermons will change. Pastors will read science. It will be a glorious time. I'm telling people, there's a utopia. It's coming. It's coming. Whether they do it now or 20 years, it's coming. Like America, it's in utopia. America is in utopia. They're even now having mixed orientation marriages. People, a bisexual is marrying a transgender, and they're in a triple relationship. Even the law has not reached there. Yes, people, it's utopia. We are going to a utopia, especially a sexual utopia, whereby you can stay with anybody and it's not a crime. You see, that's why I tell the grassroots members of the LGBT, we have to remove that law, because it is, when it's put on your face all the time, it demoralizes, it dehumanizes you. Yes, unconsciously. You are not aware of it. You think it's not affecting you. It affects you. As I told you, when you go to the office and you're looking for a job and they deny you a job, what will you say? You will think it's because of who you are. And then now you'll even avoid going for job application because you don't want to have that feeling that I'm being attacked because I'm homosexual. I'm being attacked because I'm homosexual. That's what you see? Yes. So that's what people need to understand about what we discuss. And so now, after the cultural recognition, then what's going to happen? Now gay marriage can happen. Gay families can happen. People will stay with whomever they want. They can have children. You see, the Vatican Church has stopped there. I mean, the Vatican, they are not accepting families, and that's wrong. Yes, it's wrong. They should accept gay families. There is no difference between a gay family and a straight family. The problems of a straight family are the same in a gay family. So that's what people need to understand. They are the same. So I don't know what the Pope is waiting for. You see his problem? theology. And he doesn't know science is the answer to theology. What is theology? It's the study of God. Who is God? God is science. That's God. So if you study science, you've studied God. That's why doctors, physicians are so good at their job, because they have studied that aspect of God. You see, God is science, His physics, His music. Every topic in the world is God. His sports. You're joking with God. He's everywhere. He's in every topic. Look at this. He's here. This is God. This is God. Look. Do you know how long people are paid to study trees? Just a tree. People are paid. People are paid to study just this leaf alone. This plant. You can write 1,000 books about it. 1,000. You know, I always tell people, the problem of the world is not that there are no jobs. Jobs are there. There is no money. Yes. You see this shrub? This is money. I can sit down and study this shrub to detail, and I get $1 million. Yes. Everything here, even me, just to study me, just to study my life, my body, more than $1 million. So why are you crying there's no job? There are jobs. It's just that there's no money to pay you for that job. It's the money in the world, oh my God, it's too little. Too little. As I conclude, I did a research of how much money is in the world. You'll be shocked. It's not even sextillion. There's no even $6 sextillion in the world. Never. So what does that mean? And how many things are in the world? More than 6 sextillion. Everything can be studied, and studied very well, and everything you study is God. And that's why God is in everything and in everyone. Wonderful. Okay, now the other thing to do when we are pursuing decriminalization is, I was very happy to see in the website of GALC, that's the Kenyan Gay and Lesbian Commission, I was happy with them for how they are following and trying to they're doing their work of legal activism, and they have given the outcomes that we are expecting the judgment to go either way. You know, it's very important, even psychologically, to prepare yourself for anything. Yes, prepare it for losing and prepare for winning. Always do that. Even in life, when you expect the unexpected, you don't get shocked. You don't suffer from anxiety, panic attacks. They become less because you've expected. Like when I walk down the street, I should expect that I can be hit by a car. You know, it's not that I want to be hit, but there's a likelihood you can be hit because the road is busy. Yes, and if I don't cross very well, I'll be hit. So you see, that outcome even controls how you walk in the street. That's why now this case is there. I'm prepared, and I'm psychologically preparing myself for either outcome. You know, whether it's going to go for us or not for us. That's what I am saying. Now, in case it goes against us, I was talking to a grassroots member, and I was very happy with him. gave a good suggestion. Have safe houses. And for people who may be thrown out of their houses because they are gay, and put the gay people in those safe houses. And I said, yes, that deserves a thumbs up. And it's an idea that even the donors should look into, because we do not want a repeat of Uganda. See, Uganda, what happened? When Uganda legislated against homosexuality, they had to expel. They were expelling. In fact, they wanted to, especially the ones who are out. It's not that all gays have left Uganda. There are some there. They are hidden and suffering. But and you know what suffering is? Suffering doesn't mean that you have nothing. It means you can't be yourself because of the atmosphere, the environment. Have you ever seen a cow that is surrounded by lions? It can't behave itself. Its mind is on, oh my God, how will I leave this place? So that's what happens to LGBTQ persons when they are around homophobia, people attacking who they are. That's what happens. That's the feeling. So it's not that they have left. Some haven't, but the others were expelled. What I mean by expelling is they are very out. There are some LGBTQ persons, they don't hide. Like for me, I can hide. I look very neutered next to masculine there. So you only talk to me, then you realize this one is gay. But I carry myself this way, and it's part of my how to survive, it's how to survive. And I'm happy with it, even though I'm not myself fully. I'm not myself. Oh my, you should know me. I'm still not myself, Let me tell you, most humans, you don't know them. Especially the poor. You don't know the poor. If you want to know a person, give him money. You will know them. Give him money. You will know them. Because you know a person by what he buys, what he does with money. But when he doesn't have money, he's not himself. Even the poor, they are not themselves because they are living within their means. They are like that cow surrounded by lions. So they are not themselves. So they do many things. That's why crime is in very poor places. It's because I can't survive. So I have to think of stealing to survive. Give that guy money, a very good job. He will not steal. He'll even protect his stuff. Yes. That's what you need to understand about life. Poor people are not known. Yes. Let it be known. The people we know are the rich. Like Nicki Minaj, that is her. Because she has all that money and she's doing what that is her. But a poor lady in America, nah, you don't know her. Because she's poor. She's not even thinking about herself. She's just thinking how to survive. So anyway, I like the idea of safe houses, and I feel like that should be implemented. And of course it can't be done by the local organizations alone. There is need of help from the Western and other organizations that can help. They don't have to be Western. They just have to be organizations that can help the local NGOs in Kenya to have such a system of safe houses. Yes, I thoroughly support it, because it's not every family that's going to accept you that you're gay. Some families do. Yes, others do not. And so you have to, and it's not easy. By the way, if you find a family that accepts a gay person, they are brilliant. Yes, very good family. Because a gay person's life is very different from the others. Yes. Gay people like partying, they go out. You see, That's what people don't understand. And well, not all gay people, but majority of gay people, especially the young ones, they love that enjoyment. Then after that, when you age, you may reduce on the clubbing, but you'll still club. Like for me, I still club even though I'm a bit aged. Not so aged, but I've been in the life enough. But I like life. That's a gay person. You know, they love life, they drink, they walk, social, you know, telling everybody stories. That's a gay man. A straight man, my age, is now settled, thinking about his children, family. He's not thinking of drinking much. You know, he's seated, goes to work, comes back, stays with the, you know, that's their life. Personally, no. I love moving about. I love traveling. I love engaging. I love socializing. I love it. That's so, you see. And my age mate is not like me. Yeah, so that's what you need to understand. Those are gay people. So you have to learn how to live with us as we learn to live with you. So some families can live with gay people, others, nah. And so they will chase them, and then these safe houses can work to keep those gay people who have been chased. Then as time goes on, the economic empowerment is going to happen. Because now if you're in a safe house, you can be trained. They can now train you in economic engagement, give you how to use your hands so that you can make some money. And then when you've passed the training and you get a job, you will even leave the safe house. So safe houses may not just be permanent housing for gay people, but it's where you keep somebody and then you can train him to work with his hands and then help him get a job. Because he's LGBTQ and the environment is still not friendly to LGBTQ persons. What I mean by that is when you're out, you see the problem we are having, and I don't want to talk so much, but I'll do it in another video. The problem we have is the LGBTQ persons. They are closeted. They are closeted LGBTQ persons and out. Now the majority are closeted. That's why even right now, this decriminalization process, the closeted ones are really not happy because they are having life is going on and they are not bothered. But they need to understand it's wrong, because why I'm calling it wrong, there is a law. Somebody can use that law against you when they find out you are gay. You see, and it can destroy your life. So you'd rather have a situation whereby the country is a democracy and it accepts everybody irrespective of their sexual orientation, and the person, whether he's out or closeted, he's accepted. So that's what I'm trying to say. Because there are some people who can't go and get a job. They are very out and they are nice. They know how to dye their hair very well, very neat, and they don't have a job. And I'm like, what? How could someone not fix this person somewhere to work? You know, like in a restaurant, you know, and or fashion industry. And as I've told you, the problem of employment is not even about sexuality. It is about money. There's no money. So that's why people, whether you're gay or straight, you don't have a job. But I'm just giving my ideas what to do. You can do economic empowerment for LGBTQ persons when they're in the safe houses. Good. Then another solution is now the police need training to understand they are LGBTQ citizens. And I'm talking like this, whether the judgment is passed for us or against us, irrespective. Police need training to know that they are LGBTQ persons. Then the industries need training to know they're LGBTQ persons. And I told my friend, The biology textbooks have to teach people LGBTQ. If you have a biology textbook that has no LGBTQ science, it is outdated. It is outdated. Outdated. It's supposed to explain sexual sciences, because that is the matter right now. I want you to go and look at what's going to happen to Netherlands. It's going to be a very great country. It's already great, but it will be better because they are teaching their children sex education. Yes, it's important. What did I tell you as I conclude? God is everything, even sex. When you study sex, that's pornography. You're studying God. God is even in pornography. Yes, God is in everything. Yes, God is in everything. Yes. And I'll talk about that in the theological channel. I've already put an article. I am back to writing, and I said that God is in us all. He's even in the criminal. Yes, he is. That's why God kills. And we're going to do another video about that in a series called No Heaven, No Hell. Because there is no heaven, because there is no hell. So what does that mean? We go to another world. Yeah, but it's not what you think, heaven. No. It's just another world. And we'll do that in the theological channel. Otherwise, those are my points of views for how to help the LGBT community. And there's a lot of work. I have dreams of many organizations setting up economic empowerment organizations, setting up legal organizations, setting up healthcare organizations, setting up, of course they are there, at least in Kenya, setting up fashion, LGBTQ fashion organizations, Yes, and the community, you see, LGBTQ persons are not many. That's what you need to understand. But just because they are not many doesn't mean they can't contribute to society. Doesn't mean they can't entertain themselves. Like if you have an LGBTQ fashion organization, you train models. And then the LGBT community attends those fashion shows, including even the straight community. Because now we have the doctrine of inclusion that is both secular and religious, and now anybody can attend a fashion show. We want to have a fashion show, LGBTQ pride. Do it in the public. Let people know you're there. That's how you do it. And what are we doing? We are training the society. We're educating the society that there are different people from you. Learn how to live with them. That's how you do it. That's what we are doing videos forever, to make people understand that when you see someone who is different like you, don't hate them. Accept them. Learn. This is, this approach is going to cure racism. It's going to cure misogyny. It's going to cure androphobia. It's going to cure all of these things that we have against ourselves because of differences. Do you know why the world is not at peace? Our differences, we don't know. We don't know our differences. You see, countries that are interfaith, like I was liking what I heard on the radio. A Christian is wishing Muslims happy Ramadan. And I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. You come out and tell them, enjoy your Ramadan. And the Muslim comes and says, enjoy your Easter, enjoy your Christmas. So Why is that happening? It's because if you don't have that, you will view Muslims as your enemies and you will fight. The reason why there's terrorism is because the terrorists don't have that logic. They don't know how to live with different people. They are very intolerant. So, one way of dealing with terrorism is to interfaith the society. Education, let me tell you, the number one weapon, or to be anti-war, the number one tool, because tools are better than weapons. You build. There's a very nice verse in the Bible that says, in the Messianic age, when the king will rule the whole world, the weapons will be turned into digging tools, hoes. Instead of killing your neighbor, you will be planting. And what I get from that verse, the interpretation is our knowledge, instead of, our knowledge, we can use it to make bad things, like guns and all of these things. But when we get peaceful, we will redirect our knowledge to very powerful gadgets. As I told you, having an audio Google, whereby when you go to Google and you touch it, and then you go to the map and then you touch that country, you pick the sounds, you can hear what is happening. And then later on you can even see, CCTV, you can even have a Google CCTV, whereby all the CCTV cameras in all the countries of the world are connected to one CCTV center. And when you touch it, you just touch it. You touch the map, and then the feed from the cameras in that region come up, and you see everything and you hear everything from there. That's where we're going. And it's gonna be lovely, And now I want to go down and write down what I'm seeing, When I write it down and share it. I'm now a futurist, and predict, prophesy. That's what you call prophecy. Yes, it is to see the world and predict what's going to come there. So education is the most important tool, and that is what I focus on. As I've told you, we have LGBT fashion organizations. We'll also have LGBT educational funds, whereby you help LGBTQ persons to study, LGBTQ education, and the country, as I told you, biology textbooks need to have a chapter. And when I was telling my friend this, I even said every sexual identity must be written, have its section, because the science is there. Yes, it's there. And that's what people need to understand. The world, science is the key. Science is God. And all right, so thank you so much for joining us, and more ideas will come, but know that the workload for the LGBT community is very big. We have a lot of things to do, and the opportunities are many, even though the money is scarce, but the opportunities are many. Thank you so much.